and welcome back to Blushing Pink Stitches. This is Flosstube number 34 and today is Saturday the 17th of June. So welcome everybody. If you're a returning viewer or subscriber, then I want to say thank you very much for coming back and watching more of my videos. You're really welcome here. I love all of your comments and interacting with you. It's just lovely. And then if you're a new viewer, then I want to say welcome. I hope you like what you see. I hope you hit the subscribe button and I hope you stick around for more videos. So I have an awful lot to show you today. It's been a month and a half since I did well, longer than that really, since I did a normal Flosstube video. So I did a Monogamous May vlog last month, so that was Flosstube number 33. I had some really good feedback from that vlog and the sort of whole experience, so that was lovely to hear, so thank you very much. It is something that I'm considering doing again next year. I'm considering it. I haven't made up my mind about it, but yeah, it is something that's kind of percolating back there. So yeah, because it's been such a long time, I have a lot to show you, especially in terms of haul. Just stuff that's accumulated and sort of plans upcoming and what's been happening shop wise. So we're just going to dive right in. I'm going to start with a finish. So I have a finish, start and a finish, a Saf. So if you have watched the previous video on my channel, which it was a Flosstube extra video, then you'll have seen these already. But I put up a video basically comparing DMC thread to Royal Broidery threads. And I stitched the February calendar block by Cheryl McKinnon. And this was in the December 2021 Cross Stitcher magazine. I'm going to put something behind. Let's just pull these down. Yeah. So here we go. Yeah, this is the February 2021 calendar. Sorry, it was from the December 2021 Cross Stitch magazine, and it was a calendar that chart that came with the magazine. So I stitched it with DMC threads, and then I stitched it with Royal Broidery threads, and I went into a whole thing in the video about my opinions on it, so I'm not going to do it here, but I'm probably going to stitch the entire series of these before I finish them, and obviously have to finish them twice, and maybe give a set of them away or something kind of along those lines, but they are really cute. So yeah, that's my start and finish for the month of June so far. Each of those took me just over a day to complete. It was across a weekend from what I remember, so I have more stitching time on the weekend or on my days off than I would normally. So anyway, so what I decided to do for the month of June is, sort of having spent the entire month of May on one project, I sort of wanted to switch it up a bit and have some new starts, just because I'd done so well and I thought I deserved it basically. I don't need to justify myself to anybody, but there we go. So I did that as my first new start because I knew I wanted to do that extra Flosstube video, and I wanted to get that done at the beginning of the month. So I did that, and then I have re-employed my whip decision wheel. So for those of you that are new, but also I have updated this, so I thought I'd share it with you. I have this app on my phone called Spin the Wheel, and I have a few different wheels on here now. So this wheel here, has all of my cross stitch whips on it, and I need to update it with my new starts, but whatever. And so I spin that wheel when I want to work on a whip, and yeah, whatever comes up I work on. I also have this wheel called Whip's Decision Wheel, and it's basically a lot of different categories. So it has things on here like newest projects, most amount of colours, kit project, 2023 start, that kind of thing. So it makes it a bit more, there's an element of choice in there for some of them. Like if it's your oldest whip, there's not an element of choice, but whatever. And then I saw on an Instagram account, which I can't remember what Instagram account it was. Was it on Stuff She Makes? It might have been. Yeah, I think it might have been. I'll double check, and if I can find it, I'll put it on the screen. She was doing this thing where she would spin the wheel for her whip, and then spin a wheel that had like the number of days that she was going to work on it, or the stitch count. And I really liked that idea, so I added a days wheel, a stitch count wheel, and I went from 500 to 1500. And then I also had a wheel where it was days or stitch count, so if I sort of wanted a bit more flexibility or a bit more randomness, then I could have that one instead. So yeah, I span the wheel, and the first whip that I worked on in June was Supersize Max Colour Santa's Workshop by Thomas Kincaid, and this is the artwork. And I will put a picture on the screen of the last time that you saw this. Just open Pattern Keeper as well, so I can sort of tell you percentages. Let's just go down this way, find the chart. Here we go. So I span, I think, 750 stitches, and I think I ended up doing something like, over the course of 2 days, like 960 or something like that. So here we go. Have I gone across? Yeah, I've gone across more of there. So I have stitched 0.66% of this now. So this is where we are up to. And with this one, I'm just working across the first 10 by 10 blocks, and I do some cross country within there that you can see I carry colours down and across. And I'm going to do that all the way around the piece until I get back to the beginning, and then I will do the next inside and the next inside, and that's kind of how I'm working this, just for something different basically. So I'll just hold it back here. So we're getting a lot of different colours here. There's that red S block came in, and we're starting to get some lighter colours. So you can see just up here, there's the S block just up there. Maybe I'll get a little bit of that. I'm looking forward to getting to that blue lamp thing that's up here, and then across. There'll be a lot of darkness around the outside to begin with, but I'm quite liking that method. It's suiting me with that piece, so I'm going to continue with it. Yeah, let's just fold this one up. So I was really pleased with that. Just as a reminder, I do have a Facebook group for this particular pattern, no matter what version of it you're stitching. So if you're stitching it or you're thinking about stitching it, then join the group. You just have to answer 3 questions to enter, and people have been sharing their progress on there, so that's really lovely to see. So that is that. I think I'll pull this out just so I've got some extra room. There we go. Then I had another new start. So there were a few Flosstubers. Oh, I've left that out, look. Okay, just put that down there. There were a few Flosstubers who were doing a My First Soda sale. So it was Bernie from Burn Stitches. I can't remember the ladies' names, but it's Rogue Mama Stitchery and the Tattooed Stitcher. I will leave a link to all 3 of their channels below. They were starting a soda stitch pattern, and it was supposed to be for people who'd not stitched a soda stitch before, so hence the hashtag my first soda sale. And it started on May the 27th, which of course I couldn't join at that point, so I was still working on Monogamous May. And they did pick a particular pattern for everybody to work on, but I already had a few soda stitch patterns in my stash, and so I thought, right, I'm just going to pick one of those to start afterwards. So the one that I picked to start is this one. It's called the Star Hunters, and it's of a boy and a girl, and yeah, they're hunting stars. So yeah, they look really adorable, and I thought this would be a great piece to put up in my daughter's bedroom when it's finished. So I decided that I would stitch this on a piece of, I ordered a piece of 32 count pink splash even weave from Zygarde. I've seen Bernadette has stitched on the spotty version of this, and I think maybe this fabric as well, for other soda stitch patterns that she has completed. I think so anyway. And I wanted to try it basically. So it's 32 count pink splash, and then I also ordered the CXC threads. Just thinking about that recent comparison video that I did with Royal Broidery, it made me think about the CXC video again, and I just wanted to try them out a little bit more, just to kind of get a bit more of a feel for them, perhaps update you guys in the future with sort of how they've been working for me across a number of projects. I thought that would be a good experiment to do. So I am stitching them with CXC, so I've got a few that I haven't used yet in here, and then ones that I have used in here. And this is my progress so far. So there she is. So yeah, I started in the middle, which I think was just sort of like down here with her hair. I stitched all of her hair, her little hat, the little, her face, I did all of her face, and then the little star over here. You can just sort of work out that there's a bobble at the end of her hat here. Of course she's not backstitched, so there is lots of backstitch to add to that. So I'm not worried about the fact that that bobble is not showing up as well, because it will be backstitched. But yeah, I managed to do that. I think that took me 3 or 4 days, and they were mainly work days or busy days anyway. So talk more about a life update afterwards. But I loved it. I thought she looks so cute. I think she looks so cute, and I'm really looking forward to continuing with that one. It should be a fairly quick stitch, like, yeah, like, yeah, I mean, I obviously need to get around to putting it into my rotation, but when it's in there and I'm working on it, it's quick to stitch up. So yeah, I'm really enjoying that. There we go. Put that down there. Okay, then I worked on another whip. So I spun the wheel again, and it came out with the Shire Painting. This is by Thread of Magic on Etsy, and I'm stitching this as part of a stitch along, which I can't remember the hashtag for now, but in the description box you'll find details of any stitch alongs that I mention, or ones that I'm participating in basically. So you can check the hashtags and go on Instagram and have a little look, or it will tell you, I can't remember if I've put the hosts down there, but anyway, the hashtags are definitely there, and sort of a few more details. So yeah, this is the Shire Painting, and I span 1250 stitches on this one. So I'm going to put a picture up on the screen of the last time you saw it. The last time you saw it was when I started it, which I think was in April or March. I think it was in April. I think it's further down here. I've got so much on my pattern keeper, just where I sort of chart and check that charts are working. I should really delete some of them off of here now. Okay, so I stitched over, where's my diary? I should, because I write down full coverage stitch totals once I've completed them for that month. Okay, apologies about that, I did a big sneeze. Okay, so the Shire Painting, I ended up stitching 1,312 stitches over 3 days, and I'm now at 2.27%. So I'm stitching this in my normal way. If I didn't say, I've stitched all of the full coverage that I've talked about so far on 25 count. Easy, it's not easy grid, it's even weave Lugana, 1/1 full cross. And I'm stitching this in my normal way, where I'm completing a page and going cross country and going out of the page and stuff like that. So this is what this is looking like so far. So we're up in the trees and we're getting a little bit of sky, and or the big tree I should say, it's not trees, it's one tree. So yeah, that's what that's looking like. I had a colour missing up here before, where I had the wrong shade, like a really old shade of something, and so I filled that in now. Yeah, loving it. I say that about all of my projects, because why would I be stitching them otherwise? Let's put that back in here. Okay, and then I had another new start. So this is a birthday purchase, and I think I showed you the chart in my video before, like that I did towards the end of April, because I'd already got some birthday money to spend. Yeah, I think I did. So this is Christmas Village Afghan by Stony Creek. I got this from Arts and Designs. And it's really worthwhile, just as a little tip, like if something is out of stock on the Art and Designs website, and sometimes this happens on other websites too, you can enter your email address and request to be notified when it comes back in stock. So there's a little button that says inquire, and quite often they'll email you the next day saying that it's in stock, and I just wonder whether sometimes they haven't got around to restocking things on the website because they've had an order just come in or whatever, or so yeah, they put it back into stock, and that's what happened when I ordered this. It was out of stock. I put my email in, the next day they emailed me saying it was back in stock. So yeah, so I ummed and ahed about what count of fabric to do this on. The model is stitched on 20 count over 2 using 4 threads, 4 strands of floss. I've never stitched on 20 count before. I don't know what that's like. I didn't kind of want to venture into that thread count without for a project so big, basically. So I decided in the end to do it on 25 count over 2, but I'm only using 2 strands, and it isn't the fattest coverage, but I'm okay with. I like the way that it looks. So I can't remember how big this is going to be when it's finished, because it doesn't give you the details on 25 count. So because I'm doing it over 2, it's basically 12.5 count, isn't it? So it is going to be big. So you can see there are 30 blocks on the back here. That's how they split it up, and each page in the booklet is a block of it. I don't have all of the colours for this yet, so I have this little bag here, and what I basically did, because there are several skeins of each colour, and again, like the floss list on the back is obviously for the 20 count version, so I think I'm going to end up with a lot of excess floss, but it will just go into my DMC bag and then whatever. But there, you know, like for example, 11 skeins of white, 20 skeins of 986. So yeah, anyway, so basically what I did was I looked at the pattern and I looked at the first few colours in the first block, and I ordered those to get me started. along with some of the speciality threads, because there is a DMC variations and there are 5 different Cryonics. So I have 3 of the Cryonics, I have the colour variations. And then I will be getting the rest in September, and I'll talk to you about that later. So yeah, this is the floss. This is the piece of fabric. I'm used to big pieces of fabric though, so whatever. And I finished what I could of the first block this morning. So it's just okay. Here we go. Oh no, you can't see all of that. There we go. So this is what it's looking like so far. So there are some colours missing on here, but actually not that many. Once I get the remaining colours, it will be quite easy to fill in. Like it isn't all, this isn't full coverage by any means, but that's what it's looking like so far. This was a joy to stitch. Really easy, and I think it's looking really lovely. They tell you to leave a 5-inch border around the edges, which I've done, because there's like fringing and things like that to put in. I'm not sure how I'm going to finish this, how I'm going to finish it, whether I'm going to do the fringing or whether I'm going to turn it into some sort of a quilt, like quilt it, like that kind of thing. I mean, not quilt this, but like do a backing that's quilted. Yeah, I kind of have, I don't know, I have a few ideas floating around, but I mean, I'm not going to finish this anytime soon. So yeah, that's what that's looking like. I did have the idea that I might try and work on a block of this a month. And there, like I said, there are 30 blocks, so that will take me 2.5 years to do, which I don't think is too bad. It took me 3 days to do that one block, although we are missing a few bits. But like I said, there's nothing too bulky in what we're missing. A little bit of back stitch, so maybe like each block will take me about 4 days, something like that. We'll see. Some of the blocks are a bit more full coverage than others, so like this house, for example, the snowman, the tree, that's probably going to be a bit more labour intensive, but we will see. It's funny because I was watching Teresa's recent update. Her channel is Teresa Little Stitcher, and she was talking about the fact that she went to the Wrexham retreat and she visited the Nimble Thimble and also Create Nostalgia while she was there, which was so exciting to hear about. And she saw this Afghan while she was there, and she did actually film around the Nimble Thimble, and you got to see the shop and what it was like. And she showed the Afghan in that footage and said, oh, you know, I really like this. And I thought, oh, I like that too. And then when she was talking about what she'd bought from the shop, she showed this Afghan, and I immediately emailed the Nimble Thimble and asked if they had any in stock. And they don't, they're coming back into stock. So she's going to put one aside for me. But yeah, it's just like this recent sort of conversation about Afghans. I was talking to a lady called Sue on Instagram about Afghans. But I don't know, I think they're real heirloom pieces, you know, and who doesn't love a blanket? So yeah, they are all of my whips. Let's just have a bit of a drink. Cherry Pepsi. A lady at the March retreat, I think her name was Jackie, she was talking about how I should put amaretto in Cherry Pepsi. I haven't tried that yet, but it sounds really lovely. Anyway, what should we talk about next? Plans? I have a couple more pieces that I want to start in June. One is a design that I'm stitching. I've actually started stitching that this evening, or this afternoon I should say, and I will talk about that in my next video, but I will launch it on my Instagram before then. And I'm really excited for everybody to see that. So yeah, model stitching that. And I have in fact, do I have it here? Yeah. So I bought the final montage pattern from Aimee Stewart, This is Summer Montage, and you can buy this on Pain Free Crafts. And I plan on starting this. I want to start it on June the 21st, which is next Wednesday, and that's the official first day of summer in the UK, or in the Northern Hemisphere, I should say. But definitely in the UK. I think it is everywhere else, but anyway. But it depends on whether I finish my model stitch, because I do want to finish that. So it might be a couple of days later. And I've just got my normal 25 count even weave. And I do have some special floss drops, but again, I'm not going to talk about those until next video, or keep a lookout on my Instagram. Okay. So yeah, a couple of more new starts for June, and then I will be using my wheel, and I think I'm just going to continue doing that. One of the things that I said, the conversations that I had with my husband, sort of when we were getting towards the end of Monogamous May, was that I'd made a couple of decisions about my cross stitching. And one of them I can't remember off the top of my head. Isn't it really bad that you get to a certain age and you start like losing your mind? Anyway, if it's not written down, the highest likelihood is that I won't remember it. Anyway. So I said that I had, I have all of these kits, ones that are actual kits like Dimensions and Lucares and things like that, and then projects that I've kitted up myself, and they are sitting in, I can't put my finger properly, these drawers here. So I have like this set of drawers over here. All 4 of them have kitted projects in them. I should probably do an updated kit parade at some point, but yeah. Anyway, that's a future plan, a future plan. And they've been sitting there. Some of them have been sitting there kitted for a year. So I said to him, I just feel like I should start things, because otherwise they will sit there. And I know it means that I'll be working on other things slower and I won't get as many finishes, but to be fair, I've had 3 finishes this year, and I'm personally quite surprised by that. Like, I've turned into a stitcher that works on a lot, on bigger projects basically, and I love it. I do have smaller projects. I do have projects that are non-full coverage, but a lot of my projects that I start are big, no matter sort of what they are. And I love them. And I have no qualms whatsoever about how many whips I have on my list. It's nice to get some finishes. It's nice to make progress, and hence why I don't want to do all the new starts. I do want to interject my whips as well. But yeah, I'm just, if I want to start something, I'm just going to start it and not worry about it. So yeah, I can't remember what the second one was that I talked to my husband about. Maybe it'll come back to me during the course of this video. Maybe I'll write it down for next video. You never know. Anyway, so those are plans. Shop update. I've had lots of new charts go in the shop since I last talked to you. I'm not going to show them all here now. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll have seen all of them. If you follow my Etsy shop, you'll have seen all of them. I did launch a new artist on the shop last week called Gary McNamara. He is a British artist, and he has a few different styles of art that I'll be charting. And I started with art like this. That went into the shop last Friday. And I'm really excited about those. He does a lot of different versions of them, and I think they're absolutely beautiful. So yeah, do go and check those out, and there will be more from him coming up. I did put some new accessories in the shop, so there are some more needle minders that have gone in, and you can also purchase, have I got examples of them? Oh my god, I didn't show one of my whips, did I? I have to go back and do that. Yeah, I do have an example of them, because I didn't show the one whip that I always show. Anyway, yeah, I have put in the shop now these. So there are 2 different sizes of these that you can buy. You can add them on to your order. Yeah. And if you order them, I haven't put this as a note on my Etsy shop, and I probably should. But if you order them with other things, I will just refund the postage. Because yeah, you don't need to pay postage, you know, 2 or 3 times or whatever. But yeah. So yeah, they've gone into the shop as well. But let me just show you. This is the one, the one that, you know, lots of people follow. The one that I did my Menagerie on. Can't believe I've not shown it to you. So this is Super Size Max Colour, a stitching shelf. My very ratty. I should really laminate this. Yeah, artwork by Aimee Stewart, charted by Hayde. And I'm going to put a picture on the screen of the last time you saw it, which was at the end of the Monogamous May vlog. And it is now at 6.76%. So this is what it is currently looking like. So I'm working on the 5th page up here. Oh no, this is page number 6, and then I'll come down and fill in these 2 pages. So yeah, this is what it's looking like. I did all of this page during Monogamous May, and then this is how it's looking now. I explained on the vlog that I've started putting this in a Q-Stap because of the rolling up this material that I had already stitched was becoming a little bit cumbersome, so I wanted to try a different way of holding it, and so far I am liking it. This grime guard is also a bit of haul. It's a grime guard from a shop called Wiki's Den, I think, on Etsy, and I will leave it linked down below. She does lots and lots of different sizes of grime guards. So this is a 14 by 11, which is what the size of the Q-Snap that I've got this in. So it's good for holding extra fabric, and I've just got this. I've got some hair ties around the big bit at the bottom, and then these are called magnetic cable ties. For anybody that doesn't know, I had a question about them on my Instagram recently. They're from Rich and Ray, which you can buy on Amazon, and again they are linked in my description box. So they're a great way of wrangling big bits of fabric. So yeah, really pleased with how it's going. I'm back to my 100 stitches a day and still loving it. This bit here is lots of very similar colours, lots of pinks and oranges, but I think it's looking really good. So yeah, there we go. Oh. So yeah, I finally showed you all my whips now. Okay. Let's shove that back down there. Okay. So yeah, go and check out stuff in the shop, because there are lots of new things there to be excited about. And I'm really excited about future things that are coming up. It's just going to be great. So I'm going to go through my haul. Like I said, it has been my birthday since I last saw you. So this is, the majority of this is birthday presents, basically. You know, either that I was bought or actually no, I don't think anybody bought me anything cross stitch. I think I just spent money on it myself, my own birthday money. So yeah. So first, this is a new pattern that I bought called Cherry Blossom Bookmark, and it's from a shop on Etsy called Author Embroidered Design. I will leave all of this linked down below. I was looking for a full coverage pattern that wasn't too big to stitch with CXC threads. So I picked like a bookmark pattern, and then I realised afterwards with the bookmarks that I can't stitch this on 25 count because otherwise it would be tiny. not bookmark size. So I am going to stitch one of my bigger full coverage patterns, so like a 200 by 250 or something like that, with the CXC threads and the Royal Broidery threads. So yeah, so I bought that pattern, I really liked that, and then I have the CXC threads, so these came as in the same order that the Star Hunter ones did, and they come from an Etsy shop called Cross and Crafts, so if you haven't checked them out, you should. I bought some 14 count Ada off of a lady doing a D-stash on Facebook, so I just put that in there, and that will be ready to start. So that's that. I'm going to show you a pattern now that I think has a bit of a copyright issue, but it's been in my stash for a little while, and I do want to stitch it, but yeah, I sort of bought this before I sort of knew anything about cross-stitch patterns and copyright, so I'm not going to mention the shop that I got it from, but it is a pattern called Disney Characters, and I saw a lady on Instagram start stitching this, somebody that I follow, and I can't remember the name of her account now, but I bought a big piece of 25 count to stitch that on, and I have made myself some Disney floss drops. Oh, so just based on the characters that are on here, Lion King, Snow White, and then sort of like Donald and Pluto and Daisy. Yeah, there's lots of them in here. So I want to start that quite soon as well. I can say that about everything on here. But yeah, that's a big pattern. It's basically super size. It's 999 by 705. Big pattern. There is a group on Facebook for people that are stitching it, so which I'm a part of. So if you're interested, you can go and check that out. This is a pattern that I saw Christine from Stitching in the Borough, I think the name of her channel is. She was stitching this, and I really liked it, and so I sort of asked her about where she got it, and it's from an Etsy shop called Rena Cross Stitch Designs. Oh, you can follow her on Facebook as well, and it's called A Beautiful Japanese Garden. And this is what it looks like. And you know me, I love anything oriental, so I really liked this. It's 360 by 157, and I just cut, I had some 25 count spare that I'd ordered that I was sort of cutting bits off of to start projects, so I cut a bit off of that. And I also made some, and these were in the shop before, but I've sort of redone them. I've made some cherry blossom or oriental floss drops. So these are going to be going up in my shop very shortly. Show you some of the designs on them. There you go. That's the same. This is another one. Another one. Where's the last one? This is another one. And then another one. They're very pink. They're very me. So yeah, I'm looking forward to using those. And again, I'm desperate to start it. Oh dear. There we go. I also bought a piece of fabric for Marley. Now Marley is a piece of art by Sophie Tea Art that I have charted for my own use. So this is not a licensed chart, it's just for my own personal use. But I love this image. But I'm not going to be stitching any of the background. So I bought a piece of pale pink 25 count, and I'm going to be doing that on there. So that's that one. One of my big birthday presents was a kit that I had wanted for quite some time. I think a lot of you who follow me know that I love Brenda from Handwork Maniac. I think she's amazing, and a lot of the stuff that she stitches I'm really drawn to. I think I've said on my channel before that sometimes you follow Flosstube channels because you like a lot of the projects that that particular person does, and sometimes it's their personality. For Brenda, it's both. I love her personality. I love the way that she presents things. I just love watching her, and she's one of the Flosstubers that when her video flashes up, I immediately watch it when I've got some time. So she started this kit, I think last summer, sometime around then. I think it was last summer because she had like a string of new starts. And I loved it then. And it is a Lynart kit, and it's called 4 Seasons, and the designer is Marjolaine Bastine, and it's one of her designs, and there are some others of hers that I really like as well. But you've got like each square of this is a season of the year. So we've got, I think this is autumn, winter, spring and summer. I think that's how it goes. I'm not sure about stitching this in the background. I might not do that. Seems a little bit weird to do that, or I might chart something different to put on there, like 4 seasons, or yeah, I don't really know. But it comes with everything that you need. So it is 27 count fabric, a needle, the chart, and the threads, and they're DMC threads. I'm assuming it's DMC fabric as well. Doesn't say otherwise, but it's got the DMC symbol on here, so I assume it's DMC threads and DMC fabric. This is a pricey kit. This is the most expensive kit that I have bought so far. But because it was my birthday, I treated myself basically. So yeah. Oh, little sip of drink. It's really warm still. It's 10 to 8 at night, or in the evening I should say, and we've been having a bit of a mini heat wave in the UK, and it is still quite warm in the evening. So sort of it's been 26 during the day, and I mean now if I go on the weather app, what's it saying? It's saying it's 19 at the moment. It does feel like that. We're supposed to be getting thunderstorms, rain overnight, and then thunderstorms tomorrow. So that'd be good because, yeah, like my husband said, rain is good for the lawn. It's currently dying, so yeah. Okay. And then so I bought the remaining wordplay charts from Brenda Gervais. My friend Megan, who lives in Arizona, managed to track these down for me. She's bought them for me before, and I've PayPal'd her the money. So yeah, I said to her, let's just get the other ones. So I have got May, June, July and August. So I have all of those now. Yeah, I just need to kit them up basically. So that's that. I treated myself to some charts that I'd wanted for a while. So if I show you a bundle of those, yeah, some paper charts that I had wanted for a while. I have this little note on my phone and it says priority patterns to buy, and this note had been on my phone, I feel like, for forever. So again, just with some birth money, I decided to get some. So one of the ones I got was one of these animal stacks from Plum Street Samplers, and this is Tired Trio. and I really love the colour palette on this, and the sloths are really cute. So I've never stitched anything from Plum Street Samplers before, so I thought this was a good opportunity to try one of their patterns. So I bought that. There were a couple of Flosstubers who were talking about this particular pattern recently, and it's on the face of it, it's not something that is necessarily my style, but he's just cute, so I got him. This is Wilbur by Teresa Kogut, and again, not bought one of her patterns before, not stitched one of her patterns before, but he reminds me of Babe from the film Babe. His name was, the pig's name was Babe, wasn't it? The film was Babe. Yeah, I feel like his name was Babe as well. Yeah, must be. So yeah, it reminds me of him. But yeah, he's adorable. I bought another Year in the Woods pattern. I don't particularly want to stitch the whole series, but there are some that I like, and the next one in the series that I really liked was the Reindeer. So it's another winter one. So I stitched the Fox, that was number 1, and this is number 12. This came out in December last year. I'm sure you've all seen it before. And this was one of the ones that I particularly liked. So I thought I would get that, and that'll be the next one in the series that I do of that. Seeking Refuge by the Scarlet House. Quite a few people stitching this. Laurie from Once Upon a Stitch, Vicky from the Virginia Stitcher, and I really like the words and the pattern sort of border down the bottom here. It's got more of a sampler vibe to it, which is not usually my style, but because of this and because of the words, that's kind of why I wanted to stitch it. Yeah. When the world seems to be out of control, I find a way to nurture my soul, seeking refuge with needle and thread. The angst and anxiety no longer I dread. I mean, isn't that true of all of us? I just love it. So I'd love to have that up in my craft room. I finally bought a Hawk Run Hollow pattern. I've wanted one of these for ages. So I went for Spring at Hawk Run Hollow. And this is what it looks like. So it's one of the long ones. The autumn one is like this as well. I haven't seen many people stitching the spring one, but I liked the colours on it and things. I won't do it on that colour fabric because I don't particularly like it, but I can't do it on white because there's lots of white on here. It's stitched with needlepoint silks, but they are expensive. We're talking sort of like, I mean, I think you can only get them in the States, and when I looked on 123 Stitch, they were $5 a skein. And there are two of them that I can see that need 2 skeins, and there's like a whole list. So I'm just going to stitch it in DMC, and I might go for variegated threads with maybe like the water up here and here, maybe some of the greenery down here, just for a bit of variety. But other than that, I think DMC is going to be absolutely fine. So yeah, really pleased I got that. And then the last ones that I got with birthday money, this is another Afghan pattern. And this is another Brenda influence as well. This is Jim Shaw's Countryside Afghan, and she started this recently. And you can see the Afghan here. It's stitched on where does it say it? Antique 18 count antique white fireside Afghan fabric. So it's 4 strands over 2 threads, so that would make it 9 count, wouldn't it? And I think that's the same Afghan fabric as the farm one that I talked about, that Teresa showed in her last video that I've inquired about. I think it's the same Afghan fabric. So if it is, I'll just get that from the Nimble Thimble as well. because yeah, this one has actually got gaps in between where sort of like the Afghan fabric is in blocks like this. So I figured that if I can't get that in white, then I will just leave a gap, and I'll anticipate that when I'm doing the stitch count. But otherwise, yeah, I really liked it. And this has got beads as well, which is unusual. I'm not really sure where the beads are. Maybe in like this flowery bit here. I don't know. But yeah. I think I'm going to collect Afghan patterns. I really like all the, like a lot of the Stony Creek ones I really like. And that one's by Wichelle, I think. Yeah, and then the farm one I think is by Wichelle as well. But anyway, and then the last one is Crystal Roses by Just Nan. Oh, and I meant to say that I ordered this one and the Countryside Afghan from Create Nostalgia. And I went on the website and put Crystal Roses in my basket, and then went to put the Countryside Afghan in my basket, and it was saying it was out of stock. So I emailed Mary, who works at, I think she owns Create Nostalgia, doesn't she? And I said, oh, you know, I've noticed that this is out of stock. I really want to buy it with Crystal Roses because, you know, to save on postage. Have you got it in stock? Are you going to get it in stock? And she emailed me back really quickly the next day and said that it was on order, that she would probably have it within the next week, and that she'd put it aside for me and let me know. And she did, and so they both came. I've never had a Just Nan pattern before. This comes with the beads that you need. Nadine from Nad's Stitch, I think that's her channel name. She stitches a lot of Just Nan patterns, and they're beautiful. But look at the colours on this. I mean, you know, this screams Lindsay. Stitch me, stitch me. So, yeah. And then I've got a few things that I got from D-Stash. So, are you still with me? How are you? 52 minutes in. I was watching a whip parade. Can't remember. Stitching Grammy? Can't remember who it was. Maybe I'll put it on the screen if I do remember. And she was showing her oldest whip, which was this, A Portrait of Santa by Donna, Vermillion, Giampa. And it's a leisure arts leaflet. And I really liked him. So I went on eBay, and it's rare, but I got this for a decent price. So yeah. And then they sent randomly, they sent me a pattern for free, which, hold on, which is this one. And I did put on my Instagram stories. Does anybody know where this comes from? And my friend Debbie did get back to me, because I did email the seller as well and say, oh, you know, thanks very much for including the free pattern. Do you know what it's called? So I can sort of know, basically, because it's a full coverage pattern. And they emailed me back saying that they didn't know, that they were just selling things that they had found. They bought a lock-up unit. Is that a thing? I think that's a thing. They were just selling what was in the lock-up unit, basically. So they chucked this in with it. And my friend Debbie must have done a reverse image search. I can't remember the name of the artist now. It's not anything that I can find on Etsy or any sort of Google search. So the name of the artist is Carl Bang. So this is a piece of his art, and I don't know if he's still alive or not. He's an Asian American artist, and some of his art has been used in Maya kits, M-A-I-A, I think that's how you say it, before. But I can't find any way of contacting him or anywhere that does any of his work outside of that. And this is certainly, from what I can tell, it's not been, this piece of art hasn't been used on a Maya kit. And I also can't find the name of this piece of art either. So yeah, it's a bit of a mystery. If anybody has any suggestions, then please let me know. They suggest doing this. This is the only thing with this pattern, is they suggest doing this on 14 count Aida, which, you know, I mean, you could, but the stitch count, where is it? The stitch count is 200 by 202, which immediately rings alarm bells, because that is such a detailed piece of art that, I mean, you'd lose so much of that with doing it 200 by 200. So I mean, it will sit in my stash, but whether I'll stitch it or not is another thing. Oh, I bought, this was with birthday money, I bought Miss Cherry Blossom by Nora Corbett from Arts and Designs. It's a Mirabilia that I'd wanted for a while. You can see, for obvious reasons. And then this one, Sharon from Fun with Cross Stitch is stitching, and I really liked it, and I found it for cheap on eBay, so I bought it basically. And this is Wild Menagerie. It's a Cross My Heart booklet, and the artwork is by Sherrie Stepp-Aweau. So she's stitching it on black fabric, Sharon. It looks really good so far. So yeah. Other D-stash stuff. I bought this from a lady on Facebook. This is Power of the Serengeti. It's a Dimensions kit. It's an older Dimensions kit, so this is from 1999. And she was selling it for I think it was something like £10. And this, I had this as a search thing on eBay, and it had never come up in the time that I've had it as a favourite. And then suddenly she was selling it, and so I had to get it for that price. But it's cute elephants, and it has been opened, but it's got all of the stuff inside it. So it's like a grey, kind of the grey Aida, and then threads that somebody seems to have sorted onto thread cards very usefully. But there we go. And then I bought this from a D-stash as well. This is the final queen that I needed. It's Royal Holiday by Mirabilia. Somebody was selling this for a £5. And the pattern's not in the greatest of conditions. Well, the packaging isn't, like you can see, but that doesn't really matter as long as I can stitch it from it. It's fine. So yeah. Dig in here. My friend Jenny on Instagram, after my last video in April, very kindly sent me the November cottage of the month from Country Cottage Needleworks. It's the last one that I needed, and she had it and she offered to send it to me. So I have all of those in the series now as well. So thank you very much, Jenny. It was really generous of you. And then another lady called Sarah on Instagram was selling some stash off, and so I got 2 of the Welcome to the Forest charts. So this is Forest Bear, and this one is Forest Fox and Friends. This was the next sort of series that I wanted to collect, so when I saw her selling these, I thought it was a great opportunity to grab them, and they're brand new. I switched fabric of the month with Megan. I got my May fabric, I think it was, and I thought actually in June I'd quite like to go back to the colour, as I was in the neutral fabric of the month for Coffee Craft Fabrics, and I thought I'd quite like to go to the colour one and do the colour one for a few months and then maybe switch back to the neutral. So my June fabric of the month came, I think this is June, and I get a 32 count even weave. Look at the colour of this. I absolutely love it. Pinks and purples. It is so me. It is unbelievable. So yeah, I have to find something really gorgeous to go on there, because that is incredible. Okay. I don't think I'm going to show you that. Just for time really. I got a DMC, I bought this out of profit for my Etsy shop, basically. A DMC shade card with the actual threads in here. I think this would be good for designing purposes, and it has all of the different ones in. I'll hold it all the way back here. Yeah, even it unfolds a little bit more at the end. But that's going to come in real handy when I'm choosing colours for designs. I don't need to show that. Oh, apart from this little kit, I bought a Dimensions train ornament kit. It comes with plastic canvas. Thought I'd have a go at putting that together. I thought that would be quite an easy finish to do, and I loved the train. My daughter loves trains as well. That we've got a train that goes around our Christmas tree. She loves that. What else have I got? Okay, so I bought this pattern. This is from a shop on Etsy called Little Beach Hut. And I was introduced to them from my friend Debbie on Instagram. She was stitching, I think it was her, she was stitching one of their designs. They're a UK business, I believe. And this, so cute. It's Otter Family. And there are different versions of this, so you can get it with 1, 2 or 3 otters. And all the versions come in the pattern. But I need to stitch that and have that up like in my hallway or something. A good representation of my family. And my husband, his favourite animal is an otter, so I thought it was perfect. And I unpicked my duck, and I started my fancy duck on this piece of 28 count linen from Coffee Craft Fabrics, and I thought it'd be perfect for the otter family. Like to me it says water, so I unpicked what I'd stitched on my duck and repurposed the fabric. So there you go, that won't go to waste. So Velvet Pony Designs put out what she calls a free pattern. You just have to pay 49p for it basically on Etsy to cover the Etsy fees, and it's Raven by Velvet Pony Design. So yeah, go and pick that up because it's really cool. It's a great Halloween one. Heaven and Earth have had like 3 different sales since I last talked to you. I've resisted, but in the last one I picked up Supersize the Marvelous Circus Max Colours. It's another one of Aimee Stewart's shells. I think it's the same lady on, there's another lady on Instagram that was started this, and I thought, I'd not seen this shelf. I thought it was amazing. I just love the amount of detail in them. So I bought it. There we go. And I'll just quickly go through these. Oh, this is this the April fabric of the month? Yeah, this is like a grey brownie colour that I got from Megan. There's that. Oh, and I got this needle minder from her. The fan, I really like the fan. And then these ones are just ones that I kitted up with a fabric order. This is Spring by Oxley-Only Needlework. I can't find them on Etsy. I don't know where they are anymore. And I got a piece of like purple Ada to stitch that on. I thought that would go really well with that pattern. I don't know if I've shown this, I bought Barbara Anna's Dreaming Girl. I've never bought a Barbara Anna before, so I bought a Barbara Anna, and then I bought the called for fabric, which I can't remember the name of it now, but it's this blue fabric. It's 32 count even weave. So I got that. I think I showed that in my last video. So basically I kitted that up. I'm pretty sure I showed that because the other one, have I got that in here? the other one's hoity-toity. I think I showed that in my last video, and I just bought a piece of 32 count even weave in white, I think, to stitch that on. What's this one? I kitted up the supersized the Grand Library with a piece of fabric. I don't kit them up with threads because I use them from my master set. So I bought a piece of fabric for that. And last but not least, Patchwork Rabbit emailed me to say that they had a piece of fabric in stock that I'd been wanting for a while, and actually I kitted this project up with a different piece of fabric and now I've switched it. So this is Once Upon a Time sampler from the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery, and the called for fabric is a 28 count Picture This Plus doubloon, and actually it's the crystal Cushelle, so the opalescent one, but I can't find that anywhere in the UK in the size that I want. So this is just the normal fabric. So it came back into stock and I thought, well, do you know what? I've never ordered Picture This Plus fabric before. I wanted it, so I got it. I'm going to use it to stitch this project, and then I put the fabric that was in here in a project bag with Autumn by the Cricket Collection, because I thought that would go really well. Yeah, so that is that. We've been going for an hour. Wow. Okay, that was a lot. If you're still here, well done. You know, next month haul is going to be negligible. After, yeah, I spent my birthday money, I had a good time. I'm going to start some stuff. It's great. Anyway, so I think all that's left to kind of go through is life, basically. For those of you that watch my vlog, you saw sort of bits and pieces of what I was doing in May, which was nice. And then the first 2 weeks of June, like I said, we've had some really lovely weather in the UK so far. So we've been enjoying the sunshine. I took my daughter to see Zog today at the Mercury. And we had a lovely time going to see Zog. So that's her second time going to the theatre now. She really, really enjoyed it. It's Father's Day in the UK tomorrow, so if you're celebrating, then happy Father's Day. Yeah, I've got a present to give my husband tomorrow, and we're going to go for breakfast, which will be nice. Yeah, my mum recently went in for a hip replacement, so that happened last week, and she's slowly recovering from that now. So I've had a bit of a manic couple of weeks. I've changed my days at work because I've sort of had to arrange different childcare. I'm doing a bit more driving during the week, so I find that I'm more tired in the evenings that I'm working, and I don't get as much stitch because I'm not at home that quickly in the evenings. So yeah, sort of wrapping my head around that, and then making sure that mum's okay. She is recovering well. It's obviously not easy, but you know, she is making progress every day, which has been really lovely to see. Yeah, it's hard because I can't see her as often as I would like, because I can't take Bella around there at the moment. You know, Bella just doesn't understand that. She understands that Nanny's had an operation and she's not feeling her greatest, but like if I took her around there, she wouldn't understand that she wouldn't be able to, you know, really, you know, like you can't like knock it or anything like that, and Nanny can't get up and do things with her and stuff. So I just don't want to take her around there for quite some time. And so, you know, Stefan's like on my days off, for example, I can't go around there because yeah, I'm looking after Bella basically. So that's been a bit difficult. I wanted to see her. I've wanted to see her a bit more, but it's not really been that possible. But like I said, she is making good progress, and hopefully that continues. So yeah, send good vibes our way, please. yeah, my sister-in-law's just texted me asking me to bring a needle and thread around when I see her tomorrow. Anyway, yeah, so some exciting things coming up. Keep an eye on my Instagram over the next few days, because I will be launching some things that you will want to keep your eye on. I would love to have a chat with you in the comments down below about anything I talked about today. What are you stitching on? What are your plans for June? Yeah, all of that fun stuff basically. But I am going to love you and leave you now because it is 8:20 in the evening. I'm probably going to leave it until tomorrow to edit this. Otherwise, yeah, I'll be here all night, and so maybe you'll see this on Monday, or maybe, yeah, maybe you'll see it on Monday, because I tend to upload my videos overnight, because otherwise the Wi-Fi is just kaput for everybody else in the house basically. So yeah, anyway, I'm going to love you and leave you. Have a good couple of stitchy weeks. I will be back in 2 or 3 weeks time with a normal Flosstube update, and I do plan on doing a mid-year whip parade. So yeah, that will be coming up soon on my channel as well. Yeah, have a good couple of stitchy weeks. Bye.